What's up, guys? Today we're going to be doing a live commentary of a Grandmasters Storm player. So we're going to be taking the POV of T-Dogs over here. We actually matched up against them. For the reference, their peak is a Grandmaster 1 Storm player. And I can tell you, it is incredibly rare to see Storm players in competitive. But let's go and check out from their point of view. We'll make some comments, as I have actually a Storm guide. But I'll be honest, this character is incredibly difficult to get value off of. There's just so many better options. But let's go and check out and let's see how it actually breaks out. So obviously at the start you want to keep it on speed boost so you can maybe get to the point a little bit faster. It is key against certain things like Penny Parker or even Namor trying to set up those turrets. It is good that they keep it on speed. So let's go ahead and check out how it plays. We're going to do some commentary, and again, it is so rare to see, like, again, Grandmasters Storm players. They're doing exactly what I even recommended in my Storm guide, which essentially is you want to just shoot down straight the lane where everyone is kind of at. You're going to get a lot of value. He's making some pretty good moves over here. Unfortunately, he got eliminated by the Doctor Strange over there, but he played it well. Even though he died, sometimes like it's just unlucky matchups. Someone lands a good headshot, whatever the case may be. But what you want to do with Storm is not necessarily just like go in and try to DPS and try to just eliminate the support. You actually want to kind of spam down in an area where there's lots of players, because you have Pierce. That is essentially what makes this character like unique and have value. And another way that you can get value off the characters to trying to peel for your team. You can see I was a Penny Parker on that one. Unfortunately, one of their characters took some big burst of damage via the mines. And you basically can play the character kind of two ways. You can spam down the choke. However, that kind of does also give supports massive amounts of ult charge for the support players. He should be targeting the supports, and unfortunately, oh, he got 2 ults off of that. That's actually worth it. Now, he needs to back up because, well, I mean, the support ults, they're really strong in Marvel Rivals. Basically, you're not getting things done unless you have maybe another burst character, and that's important to look at. Like, looking at their team, what would be another burst character? Magic can burst to an extent, but like having something like a Hawkeye or Hela, when you're popping your ult as DPS and the support pops your ult, sometimes you can burst through, so it's actually worth it to stay in. But if you don't happen to have a character like that, then yeah, it's just going to be straight up an L. So let's see kind of how this plays out. Again, the goal is to basically pierce, and getting rid of like the spider mines is absolutely critical. And that area that we placed the mines, I think we're kind of just throwing it down so we can pop ult. Ideally, we put it kind of to the left of where Storm is. It's kind of behind the tree. That's the best spot for the mines. It's just sometimes before you pop ult with Penny Parker, you need to get that ult like out immediately, just so you can try to get some extra limbs, because the mines plus the ult work quite well. He was kind of focusing me over there, but that's totally fine. Again, what you want to do is rely on your Pierce to get majority of your value here. He's just following the Namor because Namar's pretty vulnerable with that ability, where he's just floating in there. And again, targeting supports is always going to be key as Storm, but it's actually quite hard. Oh, that was kind of dangerous because I could have put a mine down over there. He's going to use the tree. This is a very specific map where Iron Man and Storm are actually quite good on because of the trees. You can sit, and he's actually playing it pretty well. I mean, like I said, anyone's like, you know, playing any character in GM knows a little bit about the game, maybe except for like a Jeff main, but you know, for the most part, the player knows what they're doing so far. But another thing that you can do as Storm is you can fly above and try to hit the support, but honestly, you're kind of too exposed. That's why I was saying you want to stay behind your team. Like, in that position right there, let's talk about some, like, other ways that I would improve right here. So in this position, our entire team is coming at right here, right? So our whole team is going this way, and he's kind of shooting this way, right? If he was to move to the left and back, he would be able to get that angle where it's just a long, like, hallway. That's what you want to do to get value out of Storm. It's not just, oh, target something, focus on one. You want to hit multiple, especially since they popped ult. He's got to back up over here. But in this position, he can also go to the like high ground and kind of hit things. But again, you would have got way more value if you went back into the choke. Okay, so now he's popping ult, and he needs to target the support. That is key here. He's going to be able to get the Mantis. And let's see, he's going for the Luna next. That's perfect. That's exactly what you want to do. And unfortunately, they got kind of wrecked by the Psylocke, but that's how it goes sometimes. But still, overall, some pretty good performance. That's going to be the end of round 1 over here. Let's go ahead and check out round 2. Let's check it out from their POV, and let's see how it breaks out too, because I think knowing how people initiate in the very first fight is definitely key. All right, let's go to where, like, first starts. So again, keeping on speed boost just to give your team maybe an advantage. And this map is kind of rough, I would say, for Storm, because there's a giant thing in the middle. Like, to get Pierce and value off this map is incredibly difficult. But he's playing it correct. Like, this is the one area at the high ground over here where he's going to get the most potential in terms of value. So there, Star-Lord gets a double with their ult. So basically, this point is absolutely won. At this point, he's just attacking his Venom. My whole team's dead anyway, so it's pretty much a reset. So now, this is a really good position for Storm. Oh, stay up here. Okay, the reason why is, like, you want to shoot down this lane over here. That's what you want to do. I would back up as far as you possibly can. There is a bunch of things that can have what's called damage drop-off in the game. But it looks like we TP to point. Let's see who he actually targets over here. It should be the support, ideally. Okay, that's a really dangerous position over there. But looks like he was able to pull it off. Oh, you know what? They popped Darkchild right here. And so once that was almost unnecessary. We were already down 2, but once Darkchild is popped, that ultimate, unless the support has an ultimate, it pretty much in most scenarios, once you're like a certain rank like Diamond or higher, unless someone gets like insta headshotted, that ult makes Magic good. Some characters like Spider-Man, Storm, Magic, like those ultimates, sometimes it takes a little bit longer for those characters to build up ult because they can't like sit there and poke forever. Storm technically can poke pretty hard, but like you're pretty much playing this character for its ultimate. So it's a great ultimate over here. He was actually really smart, hiding in that corner, kind of waiting for the opportune time to go in. But again, when the support pops ult, you just gotta accept defeat sometimes. Unless, again, like was mentioned before, you have like a hella Hawkeye. That's why those characters are so powerful. The burst can burst through ultimates. In that position over there, he was kind of caught off like position because he had just popped ult. And at this point, well, there's not going to be too much that they can do. Other than, he could sit there and wait for the team to regroup because we had just popped the support ult by Cloak. And so there's not really too much they could do in that position. But again, your goal sometimes when these supports pop their ultimate is to actually just try to shoot the tank. If you want to try to build ult charge, like I'll do this very often as a lot of different characters. It's like if their support pops ult, I'm not going to try to just shoot the support because the supports in general they're going to be smaller than the tanks. And if I'm just trying to build ult charge, that is definitely going to be key. So let's see, he's going to go straight into the Doctor Strange over here, but his whole team is here. Okay, the Doctor Strange kind of turbo fed over there, but the Psylocke pops ult. Let's see if he gets out of that. Well, he's going to get out of that because obviously their support popped ult. Targeting the Doctor Strange is kind of awkward here, but the Strange is kind of low. But I wouldn't try to prioritize that as a target. I would, again, try to prioritize the supports. And Star-Lord popped ult. So in this one, I would say Star-Lord did a lot of work. Both the ults basically won them the point, and we couldn't even get anything done here. So he's targeting that was me playing Thor. So he was targeting me, and in that situation, he was trying to peel, but as Storm, you can try to peel for your support, but just as a heads up, if it's like a Venom or a Thor, a lot of times you may not be able to peel fast enough. Like Venom can actually two-shot, well, it's 2 clicks. It will be multiple headshots because it's kind of like in a burst with his little like vines, but he can eliminate support really fast. I mean, obviously, yes, it will help if maybe you speed boost and you can. I think what Storm really needs to make the character a little bit more viable is some sort of way to help out their support even more. Maybe like some like gust of wind to kind of push something back or pull something in. I think that would actually be really interesting for its build. But like if there's a diver on a Spider-Man Black Panther, you can pop like the lightning thing, and that does okay enough damage. Okay, so let's see how this fight breaks out here. Okay. Oh, wow. I think he should have been further back. Yeah, okay. Let's go over kind of this play here, and this would be an excellent example. Like, I highly recommend you guys to check out my Storm video guide, even though like this guy he's hit GM1 and he's playing Storm right here in this gameplay. So instead of going right here and just going to the left, I mean, he could use this pillar right here as cover, which is great, but I think playing back here would have actually been much smarter here. And the reason why is, where is everyone on the team? They are right here. Him going over here makes it so much harder to get all that piercing in, so you lose value. Remember, Storm, you're kind of playing for the ult. You're not really playing it for like the raw damage output. But if you just put out like the raw damage where you're hitting all these targets, you actually feed into giving the supports their ults even faster. So that's something that you have to take into consideration. Like Moon Knight can end the damage with like crazy DPS, but if you get no limbs, it's pointless, right? So unfortunately, he got ripped over there. I would say, yeah, that was unfortunately not the greatest of plays, but let's go ahead and fast forward for him to get back to the point. Let's see how he kind of plays this. Because pretty much what you want to do in this position, looking at like the viewpoint from like an Overwatch player's viewpoint, going back sometimes to actually give your team the speed boost when you're regrouping is definitely worth it. I mean, he's already so close to ult, he doesn't need to poke and trade, because are you going to get a limb as Storm here with a Star Alert? More likely not. And that's why sometimes you have to factor in, is it worth it to let the other team build ult charge? Okay, this is good. He sees the Psylocke, and he's going to help the support. That's really good. Okay, it wasn't really his fault. The Psylocke just, I mean, when you're in the higher ranks of the game, certain characters, they're going to combo you, and it's not really his fault. Like, sure, if he landed maybe every single shot, like, perfectly, maybe, but, like, it's really hard to play against a Spider-Man or a Black Panther. They're going to go in, get the limb, and dip out. It's just how it works. And so, he didn't really make, he made the right play, even though it didn't really pan out. But in this position, I don't know about shooting Doctor Strange over here. I would rather be, here's what I would rather be. I would rather be where my mouse is, shooting down, trying to get as much piercing as possible to build up ult. However, he already has ult. His first instinct in this position is, well, one player is down. Do I need to pop ult? Honestly, you guys have got a couple ults to spare. Communication is definitely key to winning lots of games. And so let's see how this plays out. Because I would have instantly wanted to pop ult. Okay, so I'm activating this. Now he's going to probably pop ult to try to combat that, but we're already up one. So if he can get both supports, or even one support, that's huge. Okay, he got one support, and he got Namor, that's two. But remember, they were already down one. He ends up getting me, and I guess the Venom cleans up, so it worked out for them over there. But yeah, he probably could have popped ult a little bit earlier here. Oh, wow, they popped Cloak and Dagger ult. Okay, so one of my teammates on my team popped ult. That was good value for them. Now, that's a mistake, because we need to regroup anyways. So them popping ult was huge for the Storm player here. Or just, well, the entirety of blue team over here is really good. Now, I'm not sure if he's going to try to set up for another one of those flanks that we saw in last point, and that was actually really good. So, like, if you wanted to, right, if he was to fly up here, would that get value? It would make our team kind of like have to turn around, and that technically is value. Even if, let's say, Storm rips, if someone else is able to capitalize off of it, that is value. Sometimes people may not understand, just playing at like a flank off angle sometimes gives so much value to the point where it's worth it. He's also got the pocketed Luna Snow ability, so that also kind of helps him play Storm a little bit more, because one thing with Iron Man and Storm is sometimes as support, like, it's hard to heal them because they're in an area where, like, you just don't have line of sight, right? So the Doctor Strange is making some great space, or maybe too much space here, because he's just W King to point. This is a huge mistake. I would not target Doctor Strange. I would go after the support 100% in this position. So he's going after the support. Okay, good. Now he's going for the support. But it took him a little bit longer, and at this point, I mean, he did get 2 limbs, so good on him, but it was a little bit too late. Sometimes the difference between looking at like another character, because you're not going to limb Doctor Strange, like it's not going to be realistic in that position. It would have been much better if he had focused the support, which, I mean, he eventually did do, but never looking at tanks is what I would recommend to do as Storm, unless you're getting that like giant like line of piercing, which is how the character would get more value, because it's really hard to hit the abilities. Okay, going after support, good. Support's gonna jump off over here. Oh, they just pop that to keep the team up. I think I was looking at my HP was low. I don't think the Luna popped it to save herself, because she wasn't really that low, unfortunately. Just took too much damage over here. And is this going to wrap it up? I think this is pretty much going to wrap it up for this game over here. But really interesting to see. Can we see like the scoreboard? Oh, cool, it does. So let's see how the player actually ended up doing. Like I said, I was really excited because I was like, dude, I mean, when I saw this, I'm like, oh, someone locked in Storm. I mean, he's got to be good if it was at this rank. But I wanted to see how that like last fight played out, because he almost had ult charge, right? And it opened up. Okay, so let's see how this last play played out, because he was so close to ult. So there are times where you could shoot the tank if you're just trying to look to build ult charge. So let's see how this played out. So he went over here, and then my HP got low, so the Luna popped that to survive, so she could keep up the Thor over. You can see that was me, and then we lost one over here, so they opened up the fight with a +1, but our Doctor Strange popped ult, and sometimes, okay, the mistake maybe was that he tried to target the Doctor Strange, but again, you could argue that targeting the tank might have been in his best interest, because he's almost at ult charge over here. and maybe that's what his goal was. But in that position at 70, again, if it was like 98, 99, like, yeah, for sure, shoot the tank. But if it's kind of far off, you may only be able to win if you target the support, and I think that they couldn't touch at this point. It was going to be a GG's. When was it the Storm's fault? Looking at the stats over here, at the end of the day, they actually did pretty good. They went 21-7. The most important thing really is the final hits at the end of the day when you're looking at stats, like the damage. And this is one thing that's very important. Certain characters, like the Punisher and Moon Knight, will have incredibly overinflated damage numbers. But I felt like a lot of times when they popped ult, because that's where you get a lot of your final hits, basically the securing the limb, the Storm player actually forced out a lot of ults. Like, they did actually pretty good over here. We ended up going, what did we end up going? Okay, we were 17-7 as a tank over there on Thor. But I think we played Penny Parker as well. But you guys can see their stats over there went 21-7, and they had a lot of assists here. That's one thing that you will definitely see on Storm, because, you know, you have like the boost up, and again, you're trying to pierce all of those targets. But that was interesting. It was kind of cool to see the perspective of a GM Storm player. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know how you like the style, and if there's anything else you guys want me to add when we do some of these like live commentaries of maybe seeing like other obscure things, like maybe like high ranks Wolverine players and Storm players, because I learned, you know, that play over there where he was sitting at the top, that's something that I would do as Iron Man. I never really thought about doing that as Storm, because it definitely does work. That was probably, I think, one of the highlights of the player, going back to the, I think it was on the second point, which they actually did win, which was good for them. Let's go back to the Storm player. This is the play right here, right? Where he was waiting. This was a really interesting thing. I like that. And so they played it smart. They waited, because this is the red area where it was the Cloak and Dagger, I believe. I believe this is Cloak and Dagger. Sometimes it looks very similar to the Thor, like a little like field. But he kind of just shot over here. And one thing to note here is sometimes not revealing yourself could be good. But like, look at this. This is such a juicy potential for ult. Such a good ult over there. But, again, unfortunately, the support had ultimate. So, what are you going to do? Really good setup there. But anyways, that's going to wrap it up. Again, let me know how you guys want me to do these styles, if we do some, like, commentaries of checking out some GM players that play more obscure things that you wouldn't really see. Again, I want to say right now, the characters that people, like, never really see. You barely see any Wolverines, Black Widows, or Storms at the higher ranks of the game. Now, technically, there are some team comps where, like, Wolverine can see some play. If you, a lot of times in, like, the highest ranks of play, you will see, like, some one tricks that are really good. But I like seeing these sort of things. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. If you guys enjoyed this video, drop a like on it. Subscribe if you'd like to see more obscure, like, characters, and we'll take their POV, and we'll check it out. Anyways, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.